Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing a lovely 2019 manufacture, Breitling Superocean Heritage 2 Chronograph in stainless steel, 46mm. This is an old school Breitling, and by old school I mean Schneider family control. Stainless steel and 46mm on my 16cm circumference wrist. This one's just about got me swamped. I would recommend a wrist of 17cm circumference or larger to wear this one with proportion. Now you can see it's a big watch, 46mm in diameter. The thickness is not overpowering at 16.4. It's actually not as thick as I expected it to be. Lug to lug, it is broad, however, with a 56.2mm wingspan. The spacing between the lugs is a nicely proportional 24mm, so Breitling did that right. They gave the watch a nice big broad lug spacing to match the case size in spite of the vintage style of the watch. The first of the Superocean Heritage watches bowed in 2007, and since that time the Superocean Heritage series has become Breitling's best-selling model line, and you can see why. These are simple and handsome watches. The timepiece features a mesh-style bracelet that Breitling calls the Ocean Classic. It is wonderfully comfortable, featuring a nice 1960s style straight bar interface with the lugs. I really like the look of that. You can see it is pretty much a solid mailed chain assembly, but it is very easy to size, as it sizes like a conventional bracelet with removable, if you will call them, links that are fixed with screws. So you also have a folding deployant clasp, and you can see internally there are a few different anchoring points, so if you don't want to remove individual links, you can also change the stationing of the bracelet inside the clasp. The clasp itself with a clamshell, very secure when closed and polished to match the case. Turn it all over, you can see the case band is simple. Now I mentioned the watch is thinner than I expected, and you can see why. Breitling hikes the lugs up over the edge of the bezel, so the bezel is sunken down between the lugs rather than sitting on top of them. The result is a watch that has nice full lug profiles, but it's not as thick as if the bezel were sitting on the lugs. The lugs are sharp and substantial. You can see they step out from the case flank, and they have an enormous presence all of their own. This is no Calatrava or Portugueser. The lugs are large and in charge. The case band, however, is relatively narrow. All of high polish, it is a Breitling look. Now look carefully and you can see that the bezel is fixed in place by screws. That's called a captive bezel. It's something Breitling uses. It's also something Zinn uses, and it's a great way to keep your bezel stuck on the watch even if it's hit hard. You can knock a bezel off a Tag, a Rolex, or an Omega with a glancing blow. With a captive bezel, you cannot do that. There's also, this was new for the Superocean Heritage series, a ceramic bezel insert. So you now have a very scratch-resistant bezel insert, and this is also different from previous Superocean Heritage watches. You have a loomed pearl inside the bezel, so you can actually see the bezel at night. You line up the bezel pearl with the broadsword-style hand. Let's hear the bezel real quick. It's a precise and potent click. I like it a lot. It sounds good, it feels good. The individual indices are applique, and if you get close to this dial, you can see that it has a truly dramatic metallic gloss sheen. The registers themselves feature a concentric snailing and more of a matte finish, and each one has a polished chaptering. There's a date window. The watch is 200 meters water resistant. It features both a quick set date and a stop seconds function. You can see because of the minimal calibration of the bezel, the lack of any calibration on the dial. There are no numerals, they're just indices, the simplistic case band, the pump pushers, the lack of a crown guard. This is a very vintage look, but there's a modern movement on the inside. It's a COSC chronometer certified Valjoux 7750. It does business as the Breitling Caliber 13. 25 joules automatic, 42-hour power reserve, 28,800 vibration per hour beat rate. It's got the stop seconds, it's got the quick set date, and 200 meters water resistant thanks to this screw down crown and the screwed in case back. This is a full service modern diver, and it is a full-size modern diver wrapped in the imagery of Breitling watches of the 1960s. You can see this Breitling Superocean Heritage 2 chronograph and make it yours on the Watchbox.